Binay Patak, a BSHM 2A student. And for today's topic is about the types of organization, Chapter 4. A business is set up and develops. It follows a fixed form of internal structure. The structure may be simple or complex, but it can generally be identified as belonging to certain well-defined forms. There are several distinct types of organization which have developed during the growth of business, of which the most common are the line types, the functional type, and the line and staff type. The line type, the line type of business organization is an organization where there is a direct flow of authority from the top position to immediately subordinate levels. A characteristic of this type is the superior subordinate relationship wherein a superior delegates authority to a subordinate who in turn delegates authority to another subordinate, thus forming a line from the very top of the lowest level of the organization structure. The line type of organization is present in all organization types since any organization has a series of authority gradation and forms a pyramidal arrangements of its member. 2. Line of authority are vertical. All in the same level of authority as in case of foremen are independent of each other. Each is supreme in his own field and is responsible only to the man directly above him. In the industry plant, for example, there may be a machine shop, a paint shop, and so forth. Each shop is under a foreman. A foreman of one shop neither gives nor receives instructions from any other foreman, but each foreman receives his order from the superintendent. 3. Line type necessitates the highest grade of executive requirements workers to efficiency. No other type of organization demands such all-around knowledge and ability. The foreman of one shop has complete charge of the shop and is directed held responsible for its operations. He must understand how the work should be done. He should know how to plan and lay out the work for the whole shop. He sees to it that the necessary equipment is available and is in good condition. He determines the proper methods, hires workers, and instructs them. He sees to it that they work steadily and accurately, adjust their wages, and take care of an infinite number of other details. Advantage of the line type. The line type of organization has certain advantages that arise from its structural relationship. Some of these advantages are the simplest expressions of the fundamental of organization. The different advantages are as follows. First, directness. The members of the organization know to whom they are responsible and what exact functions they are to perform. Each man knows definitely his place in the organization. When the person answers to his conduct in regard to his obligations, he knows to whom he is accountable. The executive, in turn, can exact an accounting for the obligation and responsibilities which he imposed when he delegated some of his authority. 2. Fixed responsibility. The responsibility is not divided. Employees and supervisors at each level are subject to singleness of control. 3. Discipline. It can be seen that discipline is easily maintained and control is definite. Men, especially at the lower level of organization, seem to react more favorably to a single authority than to many authorities. The directness and fixed responsibility of this type of organization naturally lead to stronger discipline. If a policy is to be changed or an important order is to be cut out, instructions can be transmitted with discipline down the line and the change put into effect obediently because of the military nature of a line organization. 4. Simplicity. The line relationship is easy to define. The organization plan is simple. In an ideal line organization, there is a maximum of red tape because each executive is supposed to be competent. 5. Flexibility. By reason of its simple structure, the line organization permits quick adjustment to changing situations. For instance, in the organization setup, each executive has sole responsibility in his department and is in a position to take the needed action if any comes up. 6. Development of all-round executives at higher levels of authority. Disadvantages of functional type. First, discipline tends to break down among the workmen and at times even among the foremen at lower supervisory levels. Human nature still insists on clear authority. When the same workman answers to many supervisors, his discipline becomes lax. 2. When discipline is weak, morale is likely to be below. 3. There is retarded flow of actions on account of the divided control. At times, the same task overlaps into two or more functional areas of supervision. This leads to confusion. 4. Responsibility is theoretically fixed but in practice, backpassing becomes the rule. It is difficult to fix the blame for wrong action. Each foreman claims responsibility and points to another as the erring person. Competent supervisors are more rapidly found on the functional type of organization than in the line type. The scope of duty of the supervisor are restricted to the performance of their particular functions. Thus they can be rapidly trained for their work. The disadvantages prove to be the overpowering, however, that is doubtful if an example of pure functional organization exists in business today. However, the principle of functionalization of activities and allocation of duties and responsibilities on a functional basis are widely recognized and applied. The line and staff type. As the name indicates, the line and staff type of organization is the combination of the best features of both the line and the functional types. It is considered as having the advantages of both with the disadvantages of each removed or eliminated. The line organization continues to be the basic framework of the organizational structure. Authority in the organization remains mostly line. The principles earlier referred to on directness, responsibility, discipline, and etc. continue to be applied. However, with the addition of staff, the principles are modified to allow of expectations. In addition to the regular line personnel, we now bring the concept of staff. Expert or specialists are added, as shown in the organization chart figure. 4. Staff is taken from the word describing the stick, rod, or pole carried in the hand of support. In biblical times, shepherds used a staff while going over hilly grounds pasturing their sheep. Staff becomes synonymous with support. As staff execute, therefore, support the line offers. The line executive continue to be responsible for the carrying of the operational activities. They execute plans, They directly exercise authority over the employees. They supervise the activities directly related to accomplishing the major objectives of the enterprise. Unlike in the functional types, the staff officers do not, however, give their orders direct to the workers. Rather, whatever recommendation are made are carried out through the line supervisor in charge of the work. According to Professor Arthur C. Anderson of the University of Illinois, there are two departmental organizations in the line and staff type. First is the line departmental organization for doing the actual manufacturing or whatever type or business the company is engaged in. This group exercises the faculty of leadership in getting things done. And second is the supplementary staff organization acting in the advisory capacity. This second group provides information as to ways and means. This group is made up primarily of thinkers, the specialists, engineers, and executives skilled in methods and procedure, who possess expert intelligence and skill in varied problems. Furthermore, this group is considered with making analysis, doing research and investigation work planning, and coordinating information to be made available to the executives. The chief function of the staff is to analyze and point out the road to business efficiency. The line and staff type offers a clear-cut division of efforts, separating the routine from the non-routine work of production, and separating the planning from execution. As individuals are seldom equally talented in both planning and execution, faculties are utilized to better advantage. The line and staff concept as an improvement over both the line and the functional types offer certain advantages. 1. Greater flexibility. Flexibility was mentioned as an advantage of the line organization. With the addition of staff, flexibility is increased. New activities and needed function can be entered into without disturbing the basic line structure. 2. Greater strength. The line departments get the benefit of well-studied advice from an expert in a particular field. Line offers are enabled to set with certainty and therefore arrive at stronger decision. 3. Specialization. The advantages of specialization are applied without falling into the difficulties of the functional organization. At times, the specialization even goes beyond Taylor's functional supervisors. A staff executive is not bound by daily operation or time schedules in routine production. 4. Executive training. A line executive who studies carefully the advice given by staff specialists become a more qualified executive. He does not lose the essence of command and supervision as in functional supervision, but he gains a broader perspective than the pure line executive. A line and staff type also has areas of weaknesses. Unless lines of communication are kept clear and uncluttered, workmen may confuse line orders with staff advice. Because the staff executives are removed from actual operation and do not answer directly for operational difficulties, they may become careless or impractical in their giving of advice. Additional of assistance. A further development of the line and staff type of organization is manifested in the trend in recent years of appointing assistants to various executives. These assistants neither head a department nor have the authority. They are carefully selected men and no accounts of their particular qualification and position. They are looked upon as important members of the organization. Assistants are part of the staff, but their increasing importance necessitates their particular mention. Ordinarily, the assistant do not follow work. 1. Such work as the executive delegates to keep him informed and to advise him on any particular activity. In this way, the span of knowledge of the executive is broadened. It results as well in conversing his time and energy. 2. The assistant conducts studies and investigations and makes recommendations as the result of his studies and investigations. 3. The confers with person for the executive, going over their proposals with them, presenting his superior views as known to him, but leaving questions of major importance for the attention of the executive himself. 4. To issue instructional in behalf and for the executive seeing to it that they reach the proper person and that they are correctly interpreted. In other words, the assistants do innumerable things to assist the executive and as a virtual extension of the executive himself, but they never attempt to take over the executive's line of duties or the executive's personal authority and responsibility. The committee idea in organization. In order to facilitate a cooperative relationship within a large enterprise, many companies now add a network of committees to the line and staff organization. Committees are formed for the performance of special duties. Such committees may either be permanent, sometimes referred to as standing committees, or may be organized to serve temporary functions only and referred to as special committees. Functions of committees. A few of the functions of the committees that may be mentioned are as follows. 1. To get the members to work as a team. The larger the concern, the greater is the need for some coordinating force to bend the various units into a working whole. Proper selected committees place as strategic points in the organization can be made become such force. Functions of committees. 1. Get the members to work as a team. Men on the same level of authority are often jealous or distrust each other. The feeling of being taken advantage of somehow crops up, but by placing these men in a committee, giving them a common problem to work on, and by getting them to know one another better, their suspicious vanish, teamwork and coordination are enhanced. 2. To recognize executive ability and enable training for those who later will comprise top management. By placing promising young men who are less experienced in business on the committee, their executive abilities are broadened and sharpened. There is an open-minded exchange of ideas and direct contact with seasoned executives give them a broader understanding of the company practices and policies. 3. To enable the pulling together of executive abilities and experiences, or the bringing together of some of the best brains of the company. Such a committee brings together some of the best brains of the company. Each of the important division of the manufacturing company is represented. Opinions are exchanged and facts are presented. Question can be decided to the best advantage of all concerned. The bringing together the different executives result in a balanced approach to problems. 4. To secure the unity of action upon which success in any enterprise depends. Properly utilized, a community is an effective tool of management. There are, however, certain defects inherent in committee. Quite often, the committee becomes a dumping ground for the making of unpleasant decisions. Acting that should be undertaken by the line executive may unnecessarily be referred to a committee. Committee work is time-consuming and result in unnecessary delays. When an executive wants to defer action without arousing criticism for the deferment, he may refer the matter to its committee. Basic principles of committee organization. Committees, like other phases of organization, vary in terms of needs of a given enterprises. However, there are at least 4 basic principles to be considered in organization committee. 1. The organization of a committee should grow out of a need that is recognized by representatives of a department and the personnel affected. 2. The members of the committee should be representative of the function and personnel concerned, and these members should represent variations in opinion among personnel. 3. Duties, authorities, and responsibilities must be clearly defined even if, owing the circumstances, they are subject to change. 4. The organization and operation of a committee should be a cooperative development. Suggestions regarding committee. For committee to be of greatest use, their formation should be considered carefully. No definite rules can be given as to the number of makeup of committees, as this would depend upon the problems to be solved. The following are few suggestions as to some of the points to be considered. 1. Size. Committee should have sufficient number of members to provide thorough decisions, but they should not be so large as to be unwieldy. In an average case, 3 to 7 members are considered an appropriate number to work to the best advantage. The exact number of members, however, depends upon the individual circumstances of each case. 2. Selection of members. Members should be chosen from among those in the organization who are directly affected and most interested in the branch of the business to be considered by the particular committee. Special care is exercised in choosing the chairman, for in his hand had slice of success or failure of the community. It is the duty of the chairman to guide factfully the members of his committee, to conclude friction between the members to keep their interest alive, and to see that the work set to the committee is accomplished within the designated time. 3. Frequency and duration of conference. Conferences should be held at intervals frequent enough to get result of the practical value. On the other hand, Care must be exercised that the conferences are not held too often and that they are not of too long duration, consuming too much time of the members. 4. Advance notices to committees members of work to be considered. This will facilitate work of the committee as the members need to study the problems and to have suggestions at the time of the meeting. In many instances, two or more members can get together and work out any details or pieces of the problems which are related particularly to their specific field, thus affecting saving of time on the part of the other members of the committee. 5. The work of the committees is advisory. The recommendation of the committees generally receive favorable actions by those in authority. Occasionally, committees may be formed with power to act. For example, the executive committee of the board of directors may have power to have actions on certain questions in the absence of the full board. But as a rule, the work of the committee is advisory and receives favorable acceptance because of its worth and value. And that's all for this topic. I hope you understand well and gain knowledge. Thank you and God bless.